Hi, everyone. Happy Friday evening. I don't know if anyone is even going to get on, and I don't know if I'm going to keep this video. It kind of depends how well it goes, but let's get started and we'll see. So, I want to talk about these containers. And so, some of you have been asking, if I'm still doing the nutrition and fitness coaching thing, because I've been posting and sharing about some different topics lately. And so I want to say, yes, I still am. I don't know. I've just been sharing more of kind of everyday life, I guess. And it's been fun just having conversations with you guys about different topics. So, I don't know really what inspired it, but the answer is yes, my business has not changed. Hi. Hey to everyone saying hi. Welcome. Thanks for joining. But what I want to talk about tonight is these guys. I think there are a lot of misconceptions, and this month, the two flagship or the two main nutrition programs that I work with people, those are, the two kind of vehicles through which I work with people, are both on sale. And I've been talking with a lot of people about them for that reason. And there are some misconceptions, especially about this one, the one that the containers go along with. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about why the containers are not what you think they are, what you may have heard they are. So, portion control containers, right? Let's start there. Actually, I'm curious if you are familiar with this system, if you're watching live, if you know about it. Is it brand new to you, or have you heard of it, the color-coded containers? And what are your kind of first impressions, or not first impressions if you knew about it already, but like your general sense of what the program is about? I'm curious if you can comment with that. And of course, I'm going to tell you why. Like, the sort of common ideas out there are, I think, misinterpreting what the program is. And, it's not, I think not everyone necessarily teaches it the way I do. So it's not necessarily anybody's fault. But there's certain things that I really emphasize when I work with people on this that I think are really important. Okay, so the first one... Actually, maybe let me really quickly go through this for anyone who's maybe not familiar with it. So, the container system, that was the name of it. And it initially released with a workout program called 21 Day Fix. And then it kind of developed into its whole own program because, it just was popular. Like, it's kind of visually intuitive, right? Like, now when I look at my plate, I see vegetables, fruit, protein. So see how protein's a little smaller than vegetables. So your typical meal would only have one of each, right? But sometimes two. So this is where it starts to get a little complicated, depending on how big of a person you are, depending on your goals. You're going to have a different number of these throughout the day. It's not like this here is your food for the day. So we're getting ahead into the misconceptions, but that's just something I wanted to say up front so I don't mislead you. Okay. Anyway, I look at my plate and I see the carbohydrate serving, and these two here are the healthy fats, right? So you get the idea. At each meal, you would have a certain combination of these containers together, and with the colors and the sizes. It's a system that really teaches you to, I think, kind of eyeball the food groups and create a well-rounded meal. So let me get into the first misconception. The misconception is that you're measuring your food for the rest of your life. That is not what the system is. And in fact, most of the time, I was going to make a post about this. I guess I'll just say it here. Most of the time, I really just eyeball my meals. I know what each of these measure, and so if I'm making a dish for dinner, I'll base the recipe on the number of servings with the containers you just saw, and dividing the measurements. I think you get what I'm saying. But I don't sit there and portion out my food with these containers before I eat. So I've heard people say who wants to measure their food every single time you eat for the rest of your life? Well, I'm not asking you to do that. So let's get rid of that idea. I also want to say it is not about eating less. In fact, So out of the two main programs that I teach, the other one is more of an intuitive eating focus, like really front and center focusing on hunger and fullness signals. And that is so, so important. But the two programs don't conflict with each other. They just emphasize different things. And I think with the container system, hunger and fullness are a big part of it also. And that's a big part of what I teach is if you come into my program feeling that you are out of touch with your hunger and fullness signals, that's the very first thing to work on. If you're used to denying your hunger and trying to push through it, if you're used to eating past fullness on a regular basis, and that's not something it can be like, okay, I'm just going to stop. It's something that could take weeks or months or years to really, I don't want to say get a handle on, but like to really work through. And that's okay as long as you're working on it. We're working on it together. So, thank you for the hearts. Thanks. Hi to whoever's joining. Hi. Hi, Mina. Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't do that because I get distracted, but I appreciate everyone who's here. Okay, so it's not about eating less. If you are in your assigned bracket based on your weight loss goals, activity level, and your body size, and you're finding that you're hungry all day long, I'll be the first to tell you to go up a bracket and eat more. People's metabolisms work at different speeds. If you're hungry a lot, it means your body needs more fuel. And it's more so the quality of the food than the quantity of the food. That's one of the main things I want to say about this program. Yes, there are people who don't have a good sense of what makes like a reasonable portion size. And if you're drastically overeating, this program is going to ask you to eat less. But what I find more often is it's about balancing the food groups. So there have been many people who've come to me kind of eating carbs all day long and like just carbs, like bagel for breakfast, pizza for lunch, pasta for dinner with like maybe a little meat sauce, but really mostly pasta. And I just, it's impossible to feel good when you're eating that way. So there's a lot you can do with that, right? Like it's not just about eating less. In fact, it's not really about eating less at all. It's about adding in these other food groups, adding in more protein, adding in more vegetables and healthy fats. So when we talk about portion control, containers, I really think it sells the program short. There's a lot of learning about nutrition that happens for many people about, why do we feel better when we eat more vegetables? What do they contain that's helping us feel better? You learn about all of that. And there's a very extensive video library now that goes along with this. And it was all designed. There's a whole nutritional staff with the company that has, designed it's an online course essentially and reviewed all the materials. So you get access to that. And then you have me as your coach for one-on-one attention and personal guidance. So it's the best of both worlds. I think the kind of mass produced with like the high production quality that comes with that, and then the personal attention. So that's how the program is designed. So I said, maybe I didn't even say this. I was going to give 3 reasons it's not what you think, but I'm going to give you 4 reasons the container system is not what you think. Okay. So the next one is that it's all about restriction and rules and limitations. And actually, so you're not going to have to weigh your food forever. It's not just about eating less. There's an intuitive aspect, and it's not restrictive. And, actually, like, there are hundreds of recipes that go with this program, and a lot of them are so fun. It's just, I don't know, healthier versions of pancakes and cocktails, and it's not, people think they're just going to be eating chicken and broccoli forever, and that's not what it is at all. I really want to help people build a sustainable lifestyle that incorporates healthy eating, and that means enjoying food and finding healthy recipes that you really, really love and you're not just tolerating. So it's not like the container system as I teach it is not disordered. It's very important to me actually to and any thinking that's tending toward orthorexia, meaning an obsession with eating healthy, any negative self-talk, self-loathing, thinking I'm too fat, like the negative body talk, punitive mindset, all of that. We work really, really hard to avoid speaking to ourselves that way. And that's like priority number one in my programs. Okay, and then the last reason the container system is not what you think. It doesn't teach you to fear or hate food. And I think that's what a lot of people think. So I just got into this a little bit with the last one, but food, I think, is one of the great pleasures of life. So if we find that we're using food for emotional reasons, like we're using food because we're bored or we're just kind of feeling like dissatisfied with life, and we're using food to help us with that, yes, we want to find other outlets for those emotions. But it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy food. It doesn't mean that food is like only just for nourishment, the way sex is only for procreation, right? It's not. And, food, like the same, there's the social and cultural aspect. There's like a sensory pleasure aspect, and you're allowed to enjoy all of that, and you're encouraged to enjoy all of that. So it's a relationship that we investigate over time. And it's not like, I feel like there's a certain mindset people think of when they think of dieting, and I don't like to call this a diet, but in a sense, there's like, I'm on a diet versus your diet is just what you eat. Okay, so we don't want to be on a diet. That's a sense of like everything is just very grim, right? Like boring food, choking it down because I know it's good for me. No, we want to find the foods that are good for us, that taste amazing, and herbs and spices that are so flavorful, and things we want to make again and again, and we like can't wait till until lunchtime because it's going to taste so good. So hopefully I've conveyed why this system is not as restrictive and punitive as some people make it out to be, because there's just a lot of misconceptions out there and kind of a lot of hate, and people, I think, are missing out if they completely discard this as not being for them, as something that they can learn to eat healthier and still love food, and enjoy food, and not having to feel hungry a majority of the day. All of those things are possible. Last thing I want to say, if you are looking for more healthy eating ideas, healthy meal and snack ideas, go to my feed and turn on notifications, because just about every day I post a picture with an idea of a meal. But all of those go along with the container system, because I follow this every single day for the most part. Sometimes when I am on vacation and like just delicious food every meal, I don't even think about these, right? But they are kind of always in the back of my head, like, is there some protein with this meal to keep me satisfied? Okay, so anyway, that was a side note, but all of the food pictures I post in my main feed are containerized meals. You might not have known that. I don't always say it, but go and turn on notifications for my account, and you'll see those every day. And even if you don't own a set of these, you'll get a sense of how to start eating that way. And in case I put this video somewhere else, so I'm on Instagram, but if you're like seeing it on YouTube, go to Instagram. It's Living Vibrantly, and you can follow along there and see the pictures that I'm talking about. All right. Thank you for watching. If you are watching the replay, still let me know, what were your preconceived notions about the container system? Did I answer all of them? Do you believe me? What are your thoughts? All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.